Hey everybody! Welcome to Gospel Piano Lessons for Beginners. Tonight we are going to be talking about the key of G again, and specifically we're going to be talking about inversions. So if you were with us last week, we had introduced the key of G, what is it, the scale, that sort of thing, and our major and minor chords. Tonight we're going to talk about how to make those a little bit easier by using inversions. So this is Gospel Piano Lessons for Beginners, Year 2, Lesson 11. If you haven't done so yet, be sure to join our Facebook group where you can get your free PDF that we're doing tonight. So you'll see that up on the screen here. There we go. So playing in the key of G. Again, these are all free on the Facebook group. You just join in there and then you can go and see all the ones that we've done from the very beginning, Year 1, Lesson 1. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and leave us a comment and tell us where you're watching from tonight. I see we've got a few on the chat already. I see Massimo is already in here saying hello. Hi, Massimo. All right, so let's jump in tonight playing in the key of G. So we talked last week about the G major scale. And hopefully you've been practicing that. And that has got an F sharp in it. J. Marie's here. Hi, J. Marie. So just a review for that one. We're going to use G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp instead of F natural, which is the white one. F sharp and G, and our left hand looks like this. And last week we had talked about the exercises you can do to help you remember that scale. All right, our G major chords are following along, all white notes except for that F sharp. If you go up in order following our pattern of major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished, major, you can either memorize that or just go up your scale and remember that F sharp. You're going to end up with G major, A minor, B minor, which has that F sharp, C major, D major, which also has the F sharp, E minor, F sharp diminished, which we don't use too much in this key, but it has that F sharp, and then back to G. So tonight we're going to be talking about how to make our right hand move smoother, quicker, and easier while we're playing, so you can also play without looking, which is my favorite part of inversions. So instead of going from G, jumping up to C, I'm going to show you guys the easy way to get to all of those chords. So what is an inversion? A review for those of you who may not have been here last year, if you're just joining us. Inversions just mean that we take the chords, the 3 notes or 4 notes in the chord, and we play them in a different order. So root position is what most beginners start with, where your thumb is playing the note. So if you want a G major, your thumb is on G, your middle and your pinky push down, and you end up with a major or a minor chord. All right. Oh, we've got lots of comments in here. Joshua's here from Nigeria. Hi, Joshua. Rhonda, PDF would not come up tonight. Darlene says hello. North Carolina. Marilyn, I'm so happy to be here, ready to get pumped up for Jesus. That's awesome. And Marilyn said I wasn't able to get the PDF either. Okay, I can check after the live and just re-upload it to the Facebook, but it should be there under the PDFs. So if you didn't see the post, you should be able to go to Facebook, and then in the group there's a thing at the top that says Files. Click on that and look for Year 2, Lesson 11. It should be right on the top. But I'll re-upload it right after this, just in case it was a techie thing. I don't know. You guys know I'm not super techie, but I'll figure that out for you. Thanks for letting me know. And then Tom's here. Hi, Tom. All right, so let's say we're in root position, which is the G major like this. We can, as long as we're playing G, B, and D, it doesn't matter what order we play them in. We can rearrange them whichever is convenient. So we could go B, D, G. We could go D, G, B. And that's still a G major chord. It's just rearranged in what we call an inversion. So you can see here, excuse me, I have G major root position, G major first inversion, which it just means the first different one, and second inversion if we keep going up. And then if we only have 3 note chords, we go root, first position, second position, back to root position, and it just keeps repeating itself. So that's actually a really good exercise. I used to do this in university all the time. If I have a new chord or something, new scale, is you practice going up the inversions. So this isn't in the notes, but just a little bonus. So go root, first, second, root, first, second, root, second, first, root, second, first, root, and just go up and down. You can even do that with your left hand if you're feeling brave. So that's what we call technique, where it's warming up your fingers, it's warming up your brain. It will help you in your playing because, again, it's that muscle memory. So yeah, that's a really great exercise you can try. You can try them with all of them too, like C major, D major, all of our chords. You can practice that with your inversions and it'll help you feel more comfortable with it. All right, now let's go to the G major home bass inversions, as we call them. So these are the ways you can play the main diatonic chords of G major the easiest. So assuming you're starting on G, and you're switching to another chord, what is the easiest way to get to that other chord? And that's what this chart is showing you. So it isn't necessarily the right way or the wrong way, but it's just the fastest and closest way from G major. Linda's saying I couldn't get the PDF for tonight either. Okay. You know what, guys? Practice your inversions for a second. Let me see if I can upload it for you guys right now. I don't know why that would have happened. You guys can tell me stories in the chat. So, what have you been up to? I know American Thanksgiving is coming up soon. Is anybody getting ready for that? Let's see here. I've almost got it. Thank you for your patience. Getting it on the Facebook for you guys to download. Lesson 11. Bloop. All right, you guys should see that there. If not, you can let me know again. All right, where are we at here? Let me grab my PDF. Ta-da! Okay, so you guys can go download that now. It should be on the Facebook. Okay, so let's do them one by one, and I want to show you the thought process behind that tonight. We've done it with C, we've done it with the key of F, now with G. I want you guys to be able to start thinking for yourself and figuring out where those inversions are going to be, because there's going to be times where you're on, let's say you're not on G, but you're on a different chord, and maybe you want to try a different inversion. So let's say you're on a D major and you have to go to A major, right? And those are both chords within the key, but it's like, maybe this one doesn't make the most sense. Maybe this one makes the most sense, depending on where you're at. So I want to show you guys how I come up with this chart so you can use this when you're playing. So this chart is assuming you're on G major, okay? So let's do that. We want to go to C major. So we know the chords in C, or the notes in C are C, E, and G. We already have a G right here, so the easiest way would be to keep your G, and then these two fingers go up to fill in the C and the E. So G, C, G, C, G, C. Okay, so that's going to be our easiest way. And if you can remember when we did C major, we did C, F, C, F, and it's that same muscle memory where your middle finger and your pinky slide over. Okay, like that. You're going to do the same muscle memory. So you're on G, and then you're going to move your middle and your pinky over to the C major. Okay? The next one says D major. So we're on G here. We need D, which is already here. We need A, which is already here on our pointer finger. The one that's missing is F sharp, so we're going to scoot our thumb to the F sharp. That would be the most convenient way to get there. So G, D, G, D. And you can practice that with your inversions. All right, J. Marie said she got it. Perfect. Okay, thank you, J. Marie. All right, now let's look at E minor. So we need E, G, and B to play an E minor chord. So we see we already have our G, and we already have our B, so let's just add the E. So we're on G, E minor. We're just moving our pinky. Okay, and then let's go back to G, and we'll do A major. Now you can see here, we need A, C sharp, and E. None of those notes are in our fingers, so we're just going to move everybody over one, and you have a nice A major. So G, A major. And then the last one we have is B minor. Okay, So again, we need a B, we need a D, and an F sharp. So we just need to move our thumb to the F sharp. So G, B minor, G, B minor. All right, so some good practice there. So G, C, G, D, G, E minor, G, A major, G, B minor. That would be some good practice for you guys, just practicing going in between each of those chords. All right, now here is a little actual warm-up you could do. Okay, so you can start with G with 4 beats and go to C, back to G, and D. Now this one is going to feel the strangest with your thumb on a black note, but what you can do to make that feel a little more comfortable is move your whole hand towards the back of your keyboard. Okay, so if we're on G like this, I'm kind of sliding not just my thumb, because that's going to feel really like twisty on the wrist, but just slide all your fingers up, maybe half an inch or so, and then up there. So you can see my fingers on the camera. It's like this is the top of my keyboard right there. So I'm quite close to the top. And then when I go back to the white notes, I slide back down. Some people even play their white notes up there, but I find it a little squishy. But if you're playing one of those inversions, just slide it. And my fingers actually are sliding, so that's a technique thing as well. You can clunk it if you want, but I'm just, if I know I'm going there, I'm kind of sliding this middle finger. It's like guiding me up so I don't lose my place. So that's another way it helps you to do it without looking. So I'm looking at the camera, but I'm able to go up and down with the black notes too. Okay, now exercise number 2 is saying we only have 1 slash in between. So we have G, G, C. It's speeding it up. D, G, C, G, D. And then exercise 3, I just put in a whole bunch of the minors so you can practice that. So we have G, E minor, G, B minor, G, A minor. Oh, that should be A major, sorry. A major, G, D major, G, like that. So you can mix those up in whatever way you want. But those are just some ways to help you practice those inversions. And then tonight we are going to go in to Oh, I Want to See Him with inversions. Okay, so I'm not adding anything crazy tonight. We're just going to practice inversions because that muscle memory is super important. So if you're finding it tricky, just do the right hand tonight so that you can really focus on your fingering. So I want to show you guys something with the fingers as well. When we're playing root position, we're playing our thumb, our middle finger, and our pinky. When we're playing first inversion, like this, or not, second inversion. Second inversion. Where there's more of a gap here, you can use your thumb, middle finger, and pinky. Okay? And then there's ones where you're going to want to use your pointer finger, like this one. So you have your thumb, your pointer, and your pinky. So just watch as I'm going through. If you have a gap like this, usually use your pointer. See how there's a gap right here? So instead of trying to have that stretch between my middle finger and my pinky having 2 notes, especially if you have small hands, it's actually really uncomfortable. So you can just trade that middle one for your pointer finger, and it's much more comfortable. So that one you can use your middle finger, and then if you had a big gap, you'd use your pointer. Okay, so hopefully that isn't too confusing, but if you get a little bit of pain right here, it's probably because you're not using the right fingers. So just make sure you're not stretching your hand too much. Okay, so this song, I'll play you the chorus in case you don't recognize it. Oh yeah, we're in G. Oh, I want to see him, to look upon his face, there to sing forever of his saving grace. On the streets of glory, let me lift my voice. Cares are past, home at last, ever to rejoice. So, this is a happier hymn. You can play it slow if you like. You can do walk-ups. As you can see, I was doing some walk-ups and walk-downs there. But tonight, like I said, as we're learning it, we're just going to do it straight with the right hand and then the long notes with the left hand. And then next week, we're going to work on the walk-ups in G. Okay, so let's take a look at verse 1, starting with G major on the right hand. It says, as I journey through the land. And then we have C. So take your middle finger and your pinky over. Singing as I, and then back to G. Go. Pointing souls to Calvary. So G, B, and E. Calvary. And this one, again, I'm using my pointer finger so that it's not so stretchy. And then A major, root position, to the crimson. Ooh, and then a D. So this is a bit of a jump. So I'm going to follow the chart. So I'm going to put my thumb on F sharp, my pointer on A, and my pinky on D. Okay? Pointing souls to Calvary, to the crimson flow. So crimson, and then there's a bit of a jump. Flow. And then back to root position G. Many arrows pierce my heart. From, so middle finger and pinky up, from without, within, and then moving your pinky, but my Lord leads me on, through him I must win. Okay, chorus, slash chords, remember you're going to be playing the first one you see with your right hand, so G over B, you're just going to play a G with the right hand. Oh, I want to see him, and then go up for your C. To look upon his, back to root position, face, there to sing forever. That's G, B, and E. Ever. A major root position of his saving, and then jump to the D. So F sharp on your thumb. Grace on the streets of glory. Let me, up to your C like that. Lift my voice, cares are past, home at last, ever to rejoice. So take some time, especially from that A major to the D major. Let's add in our left hand. All right, we've got a few more comments. Walter's here. Hi, Walter. And a few people are saying they got the PDF. Good. I don't know what happened there, guys. Sometimes when I add in the YouTube link, it like deletes the file, but maybe that's what happened this time. I don't know. I'm glad you guys got it now, though. All right, verse 1. Nice and slow with the right hand. Left hand's playing long notes. As I journey through the land, singing as I go, pointing souls to Calvary, to the crimson flow. Bit of a jump there. Many arrows pierce my heart, from without, within. But my Lord leads me on, through him I must win. Chorus. Oh, I want to see him, to look upon his face, there to sing forever of his saving grace. On the streets of glory, let me lift my voice. Cares are past, home at last, ever to rejoice. Okay? The biggest part is just making sure your fingering's correct on the right hand. If you are feeling awesome with the inversions, maybe tonight or in a couple of days after some practice, some things that you can add really easily would be our octaves with our left hand and the bounce. So remember, the bounce means that we're going to play the left hand one extra time before we change to the next chord. For example, as I journey through the land, bounce. So after the fourth one, 1, 2, 3, 4, bounce, like that. Or if you have a group of two, like this, singing as bounce. So play 2, singing, 2, bounce, and it's right before you change. Okay, so that's, I'll play with the octaves and the bounce so you can see what that would look like. As I journey through the land, singing as I go, pointing souls to Calvary, to the crimson flow. Many arrows pierce my heart, from without, within. But my Lord streets of glory, let me lift my voice. Cares are past, home at last, ever to rejoice. So hopefully that gives you something fun to try. And if you do sing it faster, I know it a little bit faster, you can try it with the bounce as well. You could also try this one with the left hand. Again, I'm going to leave the right hand alone today. You have enough to do with inversions. But if you wanted to add a little more, this is the bass octave one that we have on our music toolkit. So if you haven't downloaded that, that's another free download we have. It's at canadamusiclessons.com/toolkit. And it just shows all of the patterns we learned last year so that you can use them in any of your songs or any of the ones we do on the live. Oh, hi Manette, hi Yusuf, come on in guys. So we could do that. So for that one, what we do is we play the root, the fifth, the root, and the fifth. And that would be over 2 beats, 1 and 2 and like that. And that would sound really pretty. As I journey. So you can see my left hand plays 2 every time my right hand plays 1. So it's like G slash slash slash. Okay, so as I journey through the land, singing as I go. See how pretty that is? Pointing souls to Calvary. So E minor would be E and B. Calvary to the A major would be A and E. To the crimson flow. And D is D and A. So it's always a fifth away. Many arrows pierce my heart from without within, but my Lord leads me on, through him I must win. Chorus. Oh, I want to see him. Keep it just on G. To look upon his face, there to sing forever of his saving grace. On the streets of glory, let me lift my voice. Cares are past, home at last, ever to rejoice. Okay, so that gives you a couple of options. Hopefully both hands together, it's going to be maybe a bit much. So try the inversions one time and then try bass octaves another time. And then by the end of the week, maybe you'll have them hands together. J. Marie asked, could you play it at speed when you're done showing the toolkit options? Absolutely. So I know this one with the walking bass line, but I'll do it with this one, but I'll do it at speed. As I journey through the land, singing as I go, pointing souls to Calvary, to the crimson flow. Many arrows pierce my heart from without within, but my Lord leads me on, through him I must win. Oh, oh, I want to see him, to look upon his face, there to sing forever of his saving grace. On the streets of glory, let me lift my voice. Cares are past, home at last, ever to rejoice. So that's fun. Hopefully by now, some of you are starting to figure out the patterns of things, and you can see we went from C major to F major to G major. Hopefully you can see how the walk-ups work. So the whole point of this course is I wanted to teach you guys how to do it, but also the why. So you can see I don't take the same songs and do them over and over and show you sevens and then show you diminished and then I just show you a different song every time. So it helps build your library, but so that you can see how it is applied to a lot of different songs, so you can apply it to your own songs. So some of you by now, if you go back and look at walk-ups in C and walk-ups in F, you could probably figure out where you could put a walk-up here in G and what notes would be in that walk-up, especially if you're learning your scales. So I'm going to show you guys next week exactly the notes, but a little challenge for those of you who've been with us from the beginning, see if you can look at verse 1, because there's a really obvious spot that would be really easy, and look at verse 1 during this week and see where could I put a walk-up in the key of G, and what notes do you think would go there? So remember, walk-ups usually come on the first note of the scale, going to the fourth note of the scale. Or if you're on the fifth note of the scale, fifth note of the scale, and then you're going up to the first note of the scale. So go through it this week. I'll give you a little challenge. And if you're feeling brave, you can draw it in and take a picture or play it for us. But next week, I'll show you guys a new song with walk-ups. And if you guys have any questions on this one, I can show you as well. Okay, so that is Inversions and the toolkit for Oh, I Want to See Him. Lots of fun on that one. Rhonda says the inversions are feeling good. That's good. If you have done your due diligence in the key of C, if you've been with us from the beginning and you did all those warm-ups, because I remember on key of C I gave you guys a lot of warm-ups on the inversions. If you did that, each key that we do should be getting progressively easier because it's the same muscle movements. It's just putting our thumb on a different note. So hopefully a lot of you are finding that, like, wow, like C was kind of hard, like there was a lot to learn in there, but then F was a little easier and G was a little easier. And there's a reason when you go through like music books or music lessons, usually whenever you learn a new key, they get faster and faster. So I went through a program a long time ago where they had like, here's the key of C, and here's F and G, and they did like a couple chapters on that. And then they were like, here's all the other keys. And they just put it as like one chapter, which is a little overwhelming, but the concepts are the same. You just start on a different note of the scale or a different scale. So we're going to do something similar in this series, but I like to flesh it out a little bit more because I do get a lot of feedback from you guys saying the one thing I like the most is how you take your time and you're not trying to just like give us half of it and say figure it out. So if you guys are looking for a little more and you're finding this too easy, you can always join. We have our online music school, and those ones we get into it. So if you're looking for more of a challenge, definitely check that out. We have a special actually happening until November 15th, which is in 5 days from the recording of this video. And so if you connect with us before the 15th of November, you can actually get a month for free. And what that is meeting with me on Zoom with some other people doing church music, and I can check out your fingers, and we take one song, but we go multiple different levels, and we show multiple different things. So if you guys are interested in that, you can just go to our website, CanadaMusicLessons.com, or you can send me a message. Okay, did not mean to go on that rant about key signatures, but it was good. All right, now our next song, I forgot I did this. I had made this earlier in the week because we had a busy week coming up. And I had put in some melody. So since nobody saw the PDF, this is a surprise. You guys usually look ahead and figure it out before you even get here, some of you. So this song is called Worth. This is a more contemporary song. It was written pretty recently. Again, apologies, I don't research these too much. But it's got some good chords in there. It's a nice, pretty song. So I'll play it for you so you can hear it, and then I'll show you what this new little chart is up here. You thought I was worth saving, so you came and changed my life. You thought I was worth keeping, so you cleaned me up inside. You thought I was to die for, so you sacrificed your life so I could be free, so I could be whole, so I could tell everyone I know. 2, 3, 4. Where are we here? Praise you forever, 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 because I am free, because I am whole, and I will tell everyone I know. All right, and then it repeats itself up to either the chorus or the verse. So 2 sections on this one, and the introduction. So I've written up here our introduction, which is right here in our verse. So I could be free, so I could be whole, so I could tell everyone I know. And then you're singing that in your head. Normally, we would just do it like this. And then we would just start playing. We would just play the chords, sing it in our head. But what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to show you how you can write in an introduction. So even if you can't play the melody for your whole song, It would be nice sometimes for the introduction especially. Some people joke if you just play like the chords for an introduction, all hymns sound exactly the same. Because it's usually like the same 3 chords in a different order. So this way, at least with your intro, your singers are a little more relieved that they have some notes there to help them. So let's go through the verse and the chorus first. So hopefully we'll get familiar with the song. I know this is probably a new one for some of you because, like I said, it is a pretty newer released song. And then we'll go through and we will sing the melody with our right hand as we're doing the intro. So this one's going to start with, this is a D, this slash right here, if I can get it to highlight, from our introduction. You thought I was worth, and then G, root position. Saving. Okay, now I put in lots of slash chords in this one because it's going to really force us to use our inversions so we're not jumping everywhere. You could just play G, 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 G all the way till life, but there's this really nice chord. But you came and changed my life. It creates tension on the G, but it doesn't actually change the chord. So the left hand is still G. It just gives a little tension. So let's try that again. You thought I was worth saving. And then D on the right hand. So you came and changed my life. You thought I was worth keeping. So E minor, just regular. So you clean, again, it's still an E minor chord, but we're just crunching it up a little bit. So our right hand is playing the D, and the left hand's playing the E. So you cleaned me up inside. You thought I was to die for. C minor, we haven't seen that one before. C minor, let's figure out what it is. So C, count up 3 half steps, then 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's the same as C major, except the E is E flat. So C, E flat, and G. So what were we doing here? We're in so we're in this inversion. So we need to change our E to our E flat. So you that's C minor. Sacrificed your life so I could be free. Now look here, little walk down. So that's the F sharp. So I could be whole. And each one of those is only 1 beat, so you're forced to use some inversions or you're going to be jumping all over the place. So I could be free, so I could be whole, so I could tell everyone I know. So that one might be a little challenging there, so just go slow. So I could be free, so I could be whole, so I could tell everyone I know. Okay? Whew. So a lot of moving from that D. So we want to get really comfortable with that movement there. So G to the D. So our thumb is on F sharp, pointer on A, D. So let's try that nice and slow, but in time this time. You thought I was worth saving. So you came and changed my life. You thought I was worth keeping. So you cleaned me up inside. You thought I was to die for. So you sacrificed your life so I could be free, so I could be whole, so I could tell everyone I know. Okay? And then we'll go over to the chorus. Now this one too as well, we don't need the slash chords. You can just play it without them. But I wanted to add them in for color and to help us with our inversions. So here we could just go halle. We could just play a G if we wanted to, but this gives us a bit of melody. Halle, if you're doing it in a different inversion. But I'm going to do it in the home bass inversions. Halle, and that would be the harmony. Halle. Okay, so halle, and then just a quick D on your right hand. Hallelujah. So let's try that again. So ha, 1 beat, and then straight to the G. Lay, slash, slash, D over G for 1 beat. Hallelujah. E minor. Glory to the God who changed my... Again, we could just stay in E minor, but why would we when we could do this? Life. And I will praise you. Oops, what was that? Sorry. Praise you forever. Forever. C minor, add your E flat. Forever. Because I am. And this is the same pattern as up above. G, D over F sharp, E minor, D, C, C, D. So that's exactly the same as up on the verse. Okay? Now again, let's try that in time, but still slow. Hallelujah. Oops, sorry. Going too slow and thinking too much. Hallelujah. Glory to the God who changed my life, and I will praise you forever, 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 because I am free, because I am whole, and I will tell everyone I know. Okay, so lots of fun inversions on the right hand there. Now, let's go up to our melody. Now, I'm experimenting with some ways. You guys know I try a few things. You guys give me feedback, and you tell me what makes the most sense. So what I've tried here is a chart where I have the words, what you would be singing in your head. So we tried this. So that's the last of the verse of the chorus. Doesn't matter, it's the same. These are your chords right here. Yoink. So that would be, so I could be free, so I could be whole, so I could tell everyone I know. Like that. So you could do that as the intro, right? If you don't want to do the melody. Now what I've done up here is I'm trying to figure out a way to write things down for people who don't know how to read notation, okay? So normally what people do is if they make something with melody, it's called a lead sheet. So if you look up on Google, maybe even this one has one, I don't know. Look up Worth lead sheet, enter. What you'll find is it'll have the words and then it will have actual written notation. So like the circles and the sticks on top to show you the melody. So what we're going to try to do in this one is I've lined it up with the words just like I do with the chords. But for the right hand, you're not playing chords, you're just playing one note at a time. And hopefully if you recognize the song, you'll be able to follow it. So if you look at the top, so I could be free, so I could be whole, so I could tell everyone I know. And that's the tune that you're playing. So let's try that again. So I could be free, so I could be whole, so I could tell everyone I know. Okay, now what you can do here, there's two options, and neither of them are particularly easy right at the beginning. So I'm going to give you both, and you can decide. And this is why I haven't been throwing any melody in. I want you guys to get really solid on your chords. But enough of you have asked, I have answered. Here we go. First option, and I think this would be the easiest, is you play your left hand chords. Okay, so you would practice that. So your left hand plays, so I could be free, so I could be, so what I'm doing there is I'm playing F sharp, A, and D. So the F sharp's on the bottom, but it's still a D chord. So I could be whole, E minor. So I could tell everyone I know. Now, I'm not worrying about inversions. I'm just playing them root position, except for that F sharp one. So I could be free. So I could be whole. So I could tell everyone I know. Okay? So then it would sound like this. Because you're not singing. This is the intro. That's probably the cleanest sounding one, where it's just really clear, left hand is playing chords, right hand is playing melody, your brain can hopefully keep that straight. Now, if you're not quite ready for that, but you want to try the melody, there's something, they call it a skeleton version, where you're playing just one note on the left hand and one note on the right hand. Now, if you're playing it in front of people as part of like a thing, I would try to get the chords in there before you do that. But if you're just practicing, it would sound like this. Actually, I'll do it up here. So you can see, you can still hear mostly what the chords are there. And then you would come in, you thought I was worth saving. And then you would just come in with your chords. Okay? So that's option number 1. Actually, let me back up. 3 options. First option, skeleton. 1 note at a time. But that's more of like just learning how to play it. The first one I would recommend playing, if your other people are with you, is left hand chords. The third way, because I know we have lots of different abilities and practice schedules represented on this chat here. The third way, and this is the one that I really like, I think it sounds really beautiful, is where you use your inversions to help you play the melody. So for example, on the word free, we have a G chord, and the B is the melody. Now, if you play a G chord in root position, the D is on the top. If you play a G in this inversion, the B is on the top. So you could do it like that. And when you land on that G chord, you're playing it and you're playing the melody at the same time. Okay? And then on, so I could be whole. Don't worry about this D over F sharp. This is a passing chord. But this is another big one here. It's not letting me highlight it. Whole. This is another like strong beat where we're kind of like landing. So I could be free. So I could be whole. We want to make sure like that's that when we play that chord. So E minor has the B on the top. And if we look here, look, our melody is B. So let's try that. So G, E minor. Look at that. And again, this is a passing chord, so you could, for this example, you can just ignore it and play it with your left hand. But then here, this C, that's another heavy one. So I could be free, so I could be whole, so I could tell everyone. So we want to make sure we're playing that chord as well. So C, we would normally play it like this, but we need the C on the top for the melody. So we would play our C major like this. Everywhere I know, everyone I know. Okay? So we've got that. So let's try the G, the E minor, and the C. Hopefully I'm not losing anybody, but I know you guys have asked, so here we go. So I could be G major, so I could be E minor, so I could tell C major. Okay, and then the last chord is a D major chord, right here. But it has a, that's our melody. So we would want to play in root position, D, F sharp, and A. Okay? E minor, C, no left hand. My right hand's doing all the heavy lifting. And then if I want to add in the left hand, I would play just the bass notes. And that's where I could do those passing chords as well. So let's try that nice and slow. My right hand's going to play the melody, the right hand inversions, and my left hand is just going to play the bass note. You thought I was worth saving, and then you just go into normal. So you came and changed my life. Now, for those of you who are wanting melody, like J. Marie, Marilyn, you guys are like, yes, melody! You can use the same idea for the whole song, eventually. But a good stepping stone would be try it on the intro, because it takes a lot of brain power. You're using chords on the left hand, or inversions on the right hand, or skeletons, or singing. Like, it's a whole new thing now. So try it with your introduction. That would be a good place to start. And then as it becomes more comfortable, you can start sneaking it in, because a lot of this, like if you get down here, so I could be free, that repeats itself on the verse and on the chorus. So you could play the melody on those parts. And then as you get more comfortable, you could say, oh, what's the melody on this part, right? And just kind of start writing it in. So let's try that. I'm going to do it in time. I'll do the verse so that you can hear it, and I'll do the melody here as well, just because it's the same, so you guys can hear what that sounds like. Okay, so here we go, from the intro. Actually, I'll do it up here, sorry. 2, 3. You thought I was worth, and then just root position, saving. You came and changed my life. You thought I was worth keeping. So you cleaned me up inside. You thought I was to die for. 2, 3, 4. So you sacrificed your life so I could be free. So I could, oh, sorry, actually, let me try it with the melody. Sacrificed your life so I could be free. So I could be whole. So I could tell everyone I know. Hallelujah. So you can see there, I did it on the chorus. I followed my melody. Hallelujah. And so you can do that everywhere that you want. That, again, that is not beginner, but that is just a little something you guys have been asking since last September for the melody. So this is a little piece for those of you who want to try it. Now you know what to do. So J. Marie says, I'm going to print this out and write the melody on it. Challenge accepted. Okay, great. She also said it's sometimes hard to figure out the melody. And that's totally normal. Especially if you don't know what note to start on. Like if I told you we're going to start on G, you'd be like, okay, that's the first note. So I could be, right? But does it start on E flat? Like where does it start, right? That's the tricky part sometimes. So a little trick for that, again, this could be a whole series of lessons, but just tidbits for those of you who do want to try it, is it's really important to know what key you're in and what is the first chord, okay? So I would say 9 times out of 10, maybe even more than that, percentage-wise. Let's say if you're starting on G, like in this case, so I could be free, like that. Or you thought I was worth saving. It's all G's, right? Normally, 9 out of 10 times, the first note is going to be one of your notes in that chord. So you can see here, so I could be, the first note is actually G. Okay? Or you thought I was worth saving. The melody on that one starts on a B. Okay? And that's part of our G major chord. Okay, so that's a good way to kind of narrow it down, because you have 12 notes, and which one do you start with? 99% of the time, it's not going to start on a note that's not in your scale. So if you're in G major, okay, you're going to start on one of those notes, unless it's like some totally crazy atonal song, which most of you would not be doing if you're in gospel. So yeah, it's going to start with one of the notes in your scale, and 9 out of 10, it's going to start with one of the notes in the chord. You thought I was worth saving, so you came and changed my life. And then to figure it out, you would do exactly what I just did. You would just sing it. You thought I was... Okay, write that down. Worth... Oh, write that down. And the first few times you do it, it's going to be really, really slow. But as your ear develops and you get more comfortable with your scales, the scales is what helps you find the melody. So the more, if I'm playing in a key that I'm not super comfortable in, like there's a few, we just never play in certain keys at our church. And so unless I'm doing it at home, I've never played in them. So if I tried to find a melody in those keys, it's a little bit slower. But if it's the one that I know the scale really good, I can usually get it the first try, because my fingers know which notes belong together. You'll start to notice patterns, okay? But for the first few times, it's going to be, you thought I, and you're just voice matching what the notes are, Okay, so hopefully that helps. I hope that was fun. I was going through this one. I'm trying to find songs that I can sing in G, because you can tell they're really, really low for me. And then I found this one. I said, oh, the melody's so easy on this one. It's only got like 4 notes, so I thought that would be fun. Okay, so that is G major inversions. Make sure you're doing your exercises. Next week we're gonna do some walk-ups. And the following week we'll do some walk downs. Now, I wanted to talk to you guys before we leave today because, like I said, we are doing some planning for the new year. I want to know truly what you guys want to learn. So, melody, I know I see that a lot. How to play in different keys, so that's our big focus for the year. I do want to talk about the circle of fifths coming up in the new year, but let me know in the comments truly, what is it that you're struggling with? I know we got some comments about different time signatures, which we will get to, but that's a little bit complicated with the way we write things down. So we might wait on that one, but I did see a few comments come through about like 6/8 time and 9/8 time and what's like 3/4 versus 2/4 and all that stuff. So I do have that written down. So yeah, time signatures. We talked about key signatures a little bit, and we'll talk about that in the circle of fifths. Any particular songs, again, send them through. I do have that list. Let me know if there's any particular types of lessons that you would like to see. So last year we did background music. We did a question and answer one. We did Request Fest from certain artists. We did Andre Crouch, CeCe Winans. I can't remember all the stuff we did. But let me know in the comments, what would you guys like to see this year? So I'm not guessing what you want. And I am going to be sending out a survey next month about some specifics about what is it that you're struggling with. Do you find inversions difficult? Is the fingering hard? Are the black notes giving you trouble? Is the left hand a problem? And I really want to know, based on like just either if you're in the class or if you're not, what are the pain points that you have that you're like, man, I wish I could get some help with that. Because I want to start making lessons to help you guys with the troubleshooting, the things that you're having issues with. So you guys can put that in the chat if you want, if you're feeling brave. You can wait and fill out that survey in December, or you can just send me a message and be like, hey, this would be really cool. Can you do this? And I will definitely write it down on my list for the new year. So we're going to finish out the key of G before the new year. And then we'll do some fun classes over that break like we did last year. So I definitely want to hear what you guys want. Just going to check my list to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. I think that's it for tonight. Don't forget, if you did want to try a free class with me, or a free month of classes, you can just contact me before November 15th, and we can get you set up with that. Super easy. Anywhere in the world, as long as you have an internet connection, you can hang out with us. And we have multiple times to choose from. And I forgot to tell you guys this, we have an international time slot now. So we have some people from Africa and the Netherlands and a couple other places where the time zone is like really different from the North American hemisphere. And I do have a time slot that works for you guys now. So I do it early in the morning, and then you guys can join. It's like after work for you guys. So if you are not in Canada or America, you can still connect. We have some time spots for you. So we'll see you guys next week. Enjoy your melody, enjoy your inversions, and have a good night. Bye.